Hello, this is Smileflux, welcome back to another episode of Super Mario Galaxy 2. So in this episode we are finishing off, hopefully, all of the fountain if we can. And then, so that we're able to move to the next dome in the game, for the next episode. The next dome is important to unlocking some of our secret stars that we need to collect. There's 3 of them to be precise. One of them is even a green star, which is required to unlock the trial galaxies. And the trial galaxies are important because they are the 3 difficult challenges. There is 4 galaxies on the trial galaxy planet, but one of them is the 100% reward planet. So only 3 of them really are proper trial galaxies. There we go, there's the Hungry Luma. We are going to do the Hungry Luma, we just need to get enough star bits. Which I do remember having to just go in here because in order to have enough you genuinely have to get star bits from inside this. Which is why they've got like that pull star thing above this part, is just so that you're able to collect star bits. As I don't research like the games before playing them, and it's been about a year since last time I played through Galaxy and Galaxy 2. I'm just going off like either notes or I'm going off like what I remember myself. Because the thing is when you're using guides, especially when you're doing a YouTube series, it's not very good. The only guides that really should be used is like notes and that you've made yourself. Because, yeah, you play your games on YouTube because you want to enjoy them, not because you have to complete them. Like games that I do find repetitive and boring, I will literally pay. Well, I won't pay, I'll literally, like, have YouTube on whilst playing them, just to keep myself occupied whilst playing the game. Especially if it's a game that I don't particularly enjoy. Is this the Yoshi? Yeah, it's the Yoshi planet. Yeah, if it's a game that I don't particularly enjoy, and I feel that like it's something that I wouldn't be like regretting if I wasn't someone who completed it without any assistance, such as, for example, Balan Wonderworld. If it weren't for the fact that I was doing a YouTube series, no, I didn't do a YouTube series on it. If it weren't for the fact that I had a massive fall where I got seriously injured so I couldn't walk, I wouldn't have played through Balan Wonderworld. Because I played through it initially as a joke. Because, yeah, it's funny playing one of the worst rated platformers in existence. Because, yeah, Balan Wonderworld is a game that you can take the mick out of because it's bad. And the main issue with it is the fact that if you compare it to like Galaxy, let's compare it to Mario Sunshine, because level layouts are more like stuff you'd find in Mario Sunshine. So in Mario Sunshine, you've got like shining sprites or stars hidden around the world. This is the same for like Odyssey as well, which power-ups in it do seem like they're ripping off some of the power-ups in Odyssey. So you've got like one where you become taller, you've got one where like you become a tank, you've got one where it's like paint thing, you've got ones that like let you fly, you've got ones that like do gear puzzles. All your power-ups in there, most of them rip off Mario power-ups. But they rip them off in a way that makes them not fun to use. So, for example, Mario Odyssey, the tank literally makes sense why you can't jump as the tank. Because if you could jump as a tank, it would literally be, one, unrealistic, which, yes, video games shouldn't strive to be realistic, they should be designed to be something that you can enjoy playing, but also, it shouldn't be to a point where it's not believable what's happening in the game. A good game is something that... A good game is like Mario Galaxy, where, yeah, Mario's not wearing a space helmet, yes. If Mario were to be in space in real life, he would suffocate. But the thing is one, it's a kid's game. It doesn't have to be that deep. And I know that. But also, with Mario, it's a cartoony game. And with Mario Kart, even stuff like Mario Kart, they don't have seatbelts on. Plus as well, giant turtle kidnapping a princess isn't really something that would happen in real life. But if you contrast that to something like trying to think about a game. If you consider something like GTA, which as a game I don't particularly like because of like the content in it. Personally, I don't think GTA should be a franchise because of, whilst yes, the game is like, it is fictional, it's in a fictional place, it's not like realistic or anything, but the thing is with GTA, you've got people who will literally reenact video games, reenact actions in the games, which, when they reenact actions in video games, half the time it's harmless. But sometimes, especially stuff like GTA, if for instance it gets people thinking, oh, I've stole a car in a game, or I can steal a car in real life, or oh, this is fine in this game, my character didn't get punished. In my opinion, video game companies need to, one, have responsibility for what they've put in their game, but also games should be like films and that, where even though you do have to have ID to like get them and that, on an online marketplace you can get away without being ID'd and that, so I do think that the more mature games should only be allowed to be sold on a disc or download code in a shop where then they have to ID you, because the thing is kids get obsessed with things, they do. A lot of kids get obsessed with things, reenact things that they see on television. And video games are like interactive movies. Therefore, if you've got a kid who's like watching Terminator and then has a gun, whilst the majority of kids would have the common sense to not actually use the gun on someone and kill them and that, there is potential that a kid could still be an idiot and seriously injure someone for no reason. Just because they want to reenact Terminator. Which is dumb. You've got to remember the kids. Some kids don't know any better. Some kids will, like, blame it on films and that, just to try and get away with it as a crime, because they know they've committed a crime, and then they're like, well, it's fine on this, it's fine on this, even though they know what they've done is a crime. And the reason why people may... And the reason is people don't want to, like, admit to things. Especially parents if kids have killed someone. It's like, it's like toxic things, like certain, like, YouTube videos and that. Like, you've got stuff like, teenagers that murdered a trans woman. Like, the thing is something like that should not be, like, promoted, should not be idolised. And the fact that, like, even though the government has admitted, yes, it was a hate crime, they're not going to do anything about it. Because they just see it as basically, yeah, kids have read stuff online, they've done that because it's their belief. Which, it shouldn't be like that. The thing is targeting people just based on, like, a background detail, something that isn't relevant to who they are as a person, in the sense of, like, personality and that. No. And the fact that apparently the kids and that were smirking in court when they were getting, like, charged and that. It's inappropriate the way that... It's inappropriate the way those kids were acting in that situation. Because the thing is... Fair enough if they did not like the person. Fair enough. You don't have to like everyone. But if you are literally planning to attack someone based on their gender identity, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to attack someone based on, like, their beliefs as well. But if beliefs are toxic, or beliefs can harm someone else, then that's when things should be put in place to stop, like, discrimination and that. It's like, in the UK at the moment, the government wants to, like, outlaw trans people. All because a certain Wizard author was like, I don't like trans people, I don't think they should exist. I think that things that have been debated in the past and been told this is the correct answer by medical professionals of all people. This is the way to go about certain situations. Like, it is disgraceful that one person has the ability to control the narrative. When, as a country, we should be working together. We shouldn't really be like causing chaos. We should be finding like a compromise. So, for example, the situation about like transgender people, like allow transgender people to live in a particular way that they'll to live as their the identity that they are. However, in like public spaces, personally, I think that stuff like bathrooms and that should all be single stall. Should all be single stall. Because then if you've got every bathroom is single stall, then one, it's reducing your wait times. Because you're always going to have one toilet that's got a longer queue than the other. Two, it makes it safer for kids. Because, yeah, if you've got a kid that needs like nip to the loo and that, especially like daughters and stuff, they should not be taken into a male bathroom by their father. There should always be an option to like have a gender neutral bathroom for that reason. Also, gender neutral bathrooms should be available for trans people, because then one, when trans people are in the bathroom, they don't want to be targeted by hate. They don't want people telling them, oh, you shouldn't be in this one, you should be in the other one, all this, all that. Or like people who aren't even trans, who are more masculine presenting or more feminine presenting, shouldn't really be getting violence now put against them in like public bathroom spaces. Like, I think it's funny how we're talking about toilets or playing Mario Galaxy, but yeah, the UK government needs to change the policies to be more inclusive. Plus as well, the gender neutral bathrooms are a lot more capable of being used, because the thing is with gender neutral bathrooms, believe it or not, they're usually single stall. And yeah, a single stall bathroom is better than multi-stall. Because then, when you're in the bathroom, you've not got like people outside, you've not got all that. Literally, when you're in there, it's like a house bathroom. So you've got like chances to do all sorts of, do whatever you need to do. Because the thing is with bathrooms, they're one of those things where you need private spaces and that. And one of the concerns is like, trans men or trans women using transition as an excuse to gain access to sensitive spaces. Like, yes, keep sensitive spaces, keep like spaces that are like much more like private, but also have options for people who are more diverse, who are different, or may need different needs. Because then, if you've got the ability to give lots of people what they need, one, eventually, probably gender-neutral bathrooms will be the norm. Single-stall gender-neutral bathrooms, because then, if you think about it, if there's one issue with a toilet and it's flooding the building, you have to close the entire toilet block. Or you have to simply just put an out of order sign on the toilet, and yeah, doesn't look very good. Whereas if you lock the door on like a gender neutral bathroom facility where they're all single stall, if you've got a broken toilet, then it doesn't look as bad, because it's like the toilet's occupied. So the thing is you wouldn't really be able to know if it was occupied or out of use. Whereas, unless of course it's explicitly stated on the door, please be aware this toilet's out of order. But then, if you're doing that, you are stating the toilet's out of use. You're not like, it's not like the door is locked over it and it says like toilet closed. Because yeah, when you're doing stuff like that, one, it looks unprofessional, and two, it makes it more challenging to use like public restroom facilities, because it's a gamble on how it's going to be. And yeah, when it's a gamble, it's literally letting down people who are visiting these bathroom facilities just because they need to use the loo. And by saying all trans people shouldn't be able to do this, trans people shouldn't be able to do that, just because you've wrote a book and you've wrote some sort of like dissertation about it, that's not right. The only time where, and as well, it should be done on a person-by-person basis. So, yeah, I personally think that, like, in certain circumstances, yes, certain people shouldn't be allowed to use certain facilities, but the thing is it should be a case-by-case basis. And the thing is it should be, like, analysed. It's the same with, like, Olympic sports and that. Like, one of the big debates is, should transgender people be able to do Olympic sports? The answer is, it's more complex than saying ban all of a certain group. It's more of, let's look at how it affects things, and then organise it so it's a lot more fairer. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be stuff like, ooh, this, that. Because the thing is things do make a change to like the body and that. And yeah, when changes are made to the body and that, and the body is working differently than it used to, your ability to do things does change. And just because one person says one thing doesn't mean it should be like that. especially when the person who's talking about it knows nothing about the topic. It's like getting someone who knows how to use a typewriter to teach someone how to use a modern computer. Like, yes, it is possible, but it's not optimal. And the thing is the optimal way of teaching people is by giving them the right facilities to learn it. For example, younger children should be taught a different way than like an adult. That's where stuff like preschool shows are decent. And where stuff like educational video games could be useful. Like, yes, gaming should not like be the primary thing of learning that, but imagine a science lesson where you're playing like Roller Coaster Tycoon to learn physics, or you're playing Minecraft to learn about like the elements. Even Mojang, the people who made Minecraft, have literally made an education edition of Minecraft. Well, it's now evolved into like part of Bedrock, but when they first developed it, it was designed to be its own program. And yeah, I personally agree that if they use video games in teaching, it will make, one, the lesson more fun for the students, but as well, it will also be a lot more beneficial to the students because it's teaching them in a way that they learn better. So yeah, the thing is culture should adapt to a new culture should change to better respect and reflect on like population. So like governments shouldn't really be targeting like marginalised communities, especially in the UK at the moment with the way the government is. Like, the way the government's going to be is the government's going to basically be like, let's do this, let's do that, let's change this, let's change that, let's make certain things illegal so that we don't have to pay, let's budget cut things, let's do this, let's do that. So eventually you're going to have like a country that people aren't going to particularly want to be in. And the reason why people probably won't particularly want to be in certain like countries and that is just because they feel like the government and that isn't respecting them, or like a major crime has occurred and their community has not been protected, even though it's been a hate crime against their community. And yeah, hate crimes should not be tolerated, no matter who they're against. If a hate crime is committed, it's not alright to be like, it's not alright for like someone to get harmed just because of a predetermined way of like belief. Yeah, people are entitled to their own beliefs, but a belief should not influence like laws and operations of a country. without any like probable like evidence to signify yes, this is how it should be. Stuff with medical evidence is different. So if like medical evidence states one thing, medical evidence should be followed. Medical evidence is vital sometimes to health of people. Especially if, for instance, it's part of a government thing. Come on. There we go. Hey you, yeah you got any taste of solar bits, if you're in a bunch I'll transform. Let's see how many it needs. 30, that's fine. Because the thing is if a government is failing the people, or failing like a marginalised group, at the end of the day everyone should be treated equal, everyone should have equal opportunities. But when you've got a government that literally is like, yeah, everyone's got equal opportunities except if you're like certain demographics or targeting stuff. Especially if your government is like, especially if your country's government is like, let's target certain groups and be like, yeah, this group is a problem, this group is a burden, this group's causing issues. Like the thing is when it's stuff like that, those governments should not be allowed to like operate like a country. The most they should be able to do is like determine like, yeah, this is a situation, this is how we feel, and basically ask the general public, because if a government is just making decisions on their own, they can negatively affect people in that specific country. So thanks for watching this episode. In the next one we're going to continue, and yeah, we're going to have a good time. Thanks for watching and bye!